leading a quiet life, leading a basic life in the area of me liking lifestyles which represent people that live normal everyday life. I don't really like the whole lifestyle of glamorous type of activity, although in the area of Hollywood type of stuff, like, that's fine. You know what I served and what I did and who I am and what I do now. And yet I don't like glamorous type of stuff. I don't like that because, see, that doesn't represent real life. And not only that, it can't really relate with other people. Well, I can't relate with other people when they're getting too into glamorous, unless, say, it's for some type of event or something like that. But to try to live glamorous every day, I can't fit into that type of stuff. And so I am, in fact, a minimalist, or what they would call someone that practice minimalism. This room that I'm in holds a lot of my stuff. I showed the room before. It holds a lot of my stuff, and yet even in this room, I got rid of my bed that was in here. Yes, I threw out the bed. My mom kind of was mad at me for that because I got rid of the bed. She's like, who actually throws their bed in the garbage? I took the bed and got rid of it. It went straight into the dump, the city dump to be exact, because to have too much stuff is to feel bombarded. And life has a tendency to bombard you with stuff already. So why would you want to make your life become more bombarded with more things than what you actually need? That is, in fact, not me. This room is filled up with stuff that I use every single day. And yet, as I'm going along, many more things I'm actually getting rid of as I go, because I like organization. I like stuff to be in its own place. And to have too much stuff is to know that a lot of things will, in fact, get in the way. So, once again, notice there is, in the room, there's no bed, nowhere to be found in the room. My exercise bike. I got all my stuff sitting on my exercise bike. Is that old magazine? It sure is. So, I like to, if there's no bed, then where do I sleep? I like to sleep on the floor. See where my 2 vitamins are at? That's the area in which I like to actually lay down and take my naps and sleep. I do. I truthfully do, because it's just, if I know that too much stuff is bombarding space, is to get rid of it. Did I just say that? I keep repeating myself, but once again, repeating is for clarity. But, and you can hear the turtle tank in the background, I'm sorry, but I wanted to say this. Somebody tried to shame me. You know, you meet all type of people in life. This individual tried to shame me because they know the things that I've actually done and the people that I have served in relation to industry. And I guess they were like jealous because they were saying, well, why don't you buy certain things to represent, you know, who you are in the area of industry? This is why you have a lot of black people that end up bankrupt and stuff, is because instead of living a basic life and basic lifestyle, despite them working in the industry, despite them doing those sort of things, they go out and they buy a whole bunch of stuff that is not needed in order to impress other people. And at the end of the day, sooner or later comes loss in that. Why would you take your funds to go buy a $95,000 car just to impress people that don't like you? At the end of the day, those people are not paying your car notes. You got what I'm saying? So why try to tell me or argue with me about the fact that I don't buy all that type of expensive stuff, right? You tell me that, and yet that does not represent my lifestyle. You see this right here? That's 3 keyboards, musical keyboards, 3 synthesizers to be exact. They're electronic music pianos, basically, is what some call them. Retro people that practice vintage and stuff like that, that live a vintage lifestyle, they would in fact say, you know what, your electric pianos, I see them for what they are. They're a representation of you. To have 3 musical keyboards is to understand what a person is and how they invest their time and money. See, I can't get caught up with people who is so consumed with money and nothing more. Because underneath that, I know for a fact is unhappiness. Because I used to be the type of person that used to get caught up and drawn into, trying to have more money, try to make more money. But at the end of the day, I began to realize how unhappy that sort of lifestyle brings you. Because remember, to never have enough money is to know you never have enough. And it's to understand that you might never make enough. The enough that you feel will totally make you happy. So I had to remove myself from that. And so I'm in an area now where I practice minimalism lifestyle. To have a to basically, want minimum things is to learn the art of gratitude. It's learning to practice the art and approach of gratitude and just being thankful for the things that you have and realizing that, yes, you will have more, but you're not dependent on that to fulfill you and make you happy. With finances, I'm saying. Get what I'm saying? Like, if you can't be thankful for the financial situation that you have at this present time, and you're so busy looking around and caught up looking at others that you feel actually have more than you in the area of money, then you will never be happy. And so this individual, when they slandered me, the other day, in which I didn't speak of, that is in fact their problem and their downfall. They're basically a Debbie Downer, and they know. But once again, they were saying, why would you volunteer, and even why would you work for, anybody that has all this money, and yet you don't have all that much money to show and prove on your end? And my thing is, it's not about that. When I do things, the things that I do, my approach is to help others. I don't have to gain $1 in any of it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not the thing. If I know that I got the skill of problem solving, why would I just focus on the dollar of what I can make? Why would I just focus on that when I'm there put into position to help those particular people solve problems? That doesn't make sense. So if I live a very minimum lifestyle, why would I be in the presence of those who worship nothing more than money? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense, because what that does is that leads to arguments in the area of, if I want, say for right now, if I want to do anything for anybody, and say I go volunteer or do anything in that lane, right? And I'm not making $1 off of what I'm volunteering to do. An individual that's too caught up in money and the glamorous lifestyle, what they'll do is they'll tear you down over the money that they feel that you don't have. Because that's what happened. They basically tore me down. And that's not the first time that has happened. It has happened on numerous occasions. Which is why some of the things that I have actually been given an advantage to do and to help and serve other people, that's why I didn't tell a certain particular race of people who look like me. It's because when a person is being kind-hearted or good-hearted and they're helping other people, their intent sometimes is not to gain back anything. They want to do this in order to improve their skills, their problem-solving skills. Because remember, it's problem-solving in all this. So you're not just doing something just to collect dollars and dimes. Because I noticed some of the most, what can I say? What can I call these people? Some of the people that are just drawn to the extravaganza of the industry and they just want to be in it for money. Some of those people are some of the most devastated people internally. That's why they turn to drugs. Because see, they're not going into the industry with the right mind frame from the beginning. To not have the right mind frame and go into an industry such as Hollywood or anything that's in relation to that is to become depressed and addicted to drugs, which leads to a disastrous ending. And for many people, it ends to them ending their life. So you have to have the right approach in going into the industry. Because remember, many positions that people work behind the scenes, people are not making the type of money that you think they make. Because remember, they're not celebrities. So if you know that they're not celebrities, it's once again to understand a lot of money is to not be made in that. And even many celebrities that you actually see that are serving in Hollywood all around the globe, they're not in fact making the amount of money that you think that they would make, although they're celebrities. So that's why I said you have to put your right face on in the area of not going into the industry with just interest of all this glamour and this glitz and how much money you're going to make on the inside, because that does not always happen. You can serve in a role and position where you're basically making almost next to nothing in relation to you're making what people would consider the average 9 to 5. You're making about that much. Entertainment industry is no different from any other industry. It's not. So what makes you think, in a sense, that a person will be so special that, okay, I can go into Hollywood and make all this money? That's the wrong, it's just, to me, it's people's mindset. Like, that just makes you wonder what is wrong with a person to think that you're just going to go serve somebody in Hollywood and think you're going to make millions and millions of dollars. That's not the right mindset. That's an actual failure mindset, is all I'm saying. Because with an industry like Hollywood, things don't always last long because the industry moves so fast. So what you're doing today, you might not be doing tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, people have to understand the program. To not understand the program is to get left behind. And if you're a minimalist, I keep messing up my words, tongue-tied. If you're a minimalist like me, you understand that things come and they go. And life is unpredictable. That's another reason why I'm a minimalist. You know what I'm saying? You can take dollars and buy all type of stuff, you know, and be laden in debt for the next 30, 40 years. And for me, I choose not to do that. I choose not to just be, you know, signing my name on stuff, putting my name on stuff, getting random credit cards, you know, spending random dollars on stuff. I don't like that. Because see, in this apartment that I'm living in right now, more than likely we're going to move. And for every time you move, you have to be dragging all that stuff. And not only that, once you get to putting your name on certain things and titles and all that other stuff, like keeping up with that stuff, anything can happen. Any moment, a fire could come along and take everything away. Like, yeah, you got the insurance to replace it, but some people get really heartbroken when a fire come along and swoop and take everything in their possession away from them. That's another reason why I practice detachment as well, because I don't want to be too attached to my possessions. And yet people that obsess over money, a lot of them are actually in fact really tied to their possessions. You know what I'm saying? For me, the minimum lifestyle works completely for me. It might not work for other people, and yeah, if that person wanted to slander me the way that they did, that's on them. Because what I notice about that individual, they never have anything at all to say positive. Never. No, never. Never. They're just highly materialistic, and their life doesn't go beyond that. You know what I'm saying? That's just a poor way to live. See, you can have a lot of money and still have a poverty mindset. Yes, you can. Because People who think like me with this minimalist approach to life, they know the proper ways to invest their money. See, somebody that's a minimalist and say they got good money or whatnot, they're not just going to take their money and spend it on foolish things. They're going to take that money and invest it in something in which they can get an investment back. So to buy a $90,000 car, I will be using that car for business purposes or something like that. That's an investment feeding into your business. It's just not to buy a car, sports car like that, just to ride and impress, because see, you might ride and impress that whoever and turn the corner and flip that car over. I know an individual right now that flipped their car 3 times. Thank you, universe, that they're still alive. But stuff like that happens. So you get a car, go out here riding crazy, and impress people that you say, oh, I got all this money, and flip the car over, and then the car is completely totaled. What do you do then? Take some money through insurance and go buy another car and do the same thing? I mean, like, what happens? It's a question. So individuals that hold my mindset, they will take that same $90,000, as I said before, and invest that in some type of, they will invest it like in units or in something that is going to bring them something. If I got 3 musical pianos, synthesizers, I always say that, because each individual, some says pianos and others say synthesizers, but to each his own. So if I got these 3 devices as well as 3 laptops, that shows the investment on my end of, I put these 3 devices, well 5. Oh, and then the keyboard on the ground. You're using those things for an investment back into yourself, as well as helping other people. You know what I'm saying? To have $90,000 is to properly invest with this stuff. See, I'm not one to just sit around and buy stuff just to tell people that I have it and then not actually make that whatever that I bought work for me. It has to be put to use for something. I can't sit up here, buy a car of $90,000 to impress, and then I only just drive that car maybe once out of the month or something crazy. Many people do that. Many black people do that. And I'm not trying to bash, but my thing is, don't bash me when I'm telling you to think smart and wise. When I'm telling you to think smart and wise in the area of spending. Because to live lavish in today is to might not live that 20 years from now. And then you got to live and suffer talking about how life used to be. I hate hearing how people, a lot of times within the black community of where I came from, you got many of them, they go on and on about how life used to be, how good life used to be years and years back. And yet it's not so much so now because they didn't properly invest right. You should have went and took that money and put it into business. Yes, you should have. But no, instead you put it in shoes and clothes and stuff that couldn't bring anything back. For me to have the devices of all the devices that I have, I got a lot of devices that's even in bins that I used in my past. Those devices served a personal investment in the area of what I do today. So, never shame and shun someone that is doing something for a good or benefit. See what I'm saying? Because like I said before, I've been doing what I've been doing. Songwriting and all that stuff, I started back in the late 90s. 96, 97, way back then. And everything else came later. But I knew all about, proper investing. I'm repeating again, but yeah, when people slander me, I don't take it personal. I just take it as complete jealousy. because for many of them that have did the slandering, many of them are much older than me, and yet they're not as far in life as they should be. And it could be because they slander others. Who knows? Who knows? But the benefit of being a minimalist is you don't have to worry about junk. And yet in this room, I feel is a lot of junk. My tripods. There's a lot of junk. Let me see where he at. Where's Bingo at? He in there somewhere. So I don't really get caught up in that type of thing. Minimalism, it really works for me because I know where everything is and it's easy for me to keep up with stuff. But I never want to live a life of being lavish. I never do. See how quiet it is? I'm saying in here, despite the turtle tank and the radio being on. To live a quiet life is to live peacefully. You know, to live a life of trying to impress everybody around you brings a lot of noise. Because remember, to want to be impressing all day is to bring people that just come up next to you that have not the best intention for you. You know what I'm saying? You can draw people to you that don't have the best intention, where they just want to be by your side just because they think that you got something. I don't like that type of stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm just weird like that. I like once again, I like stuff that looks every day. It looks every day. Where's my camera? My camera that's sitting there, I showed even that. My camera, that camera is sitting there. It's got 64 gigabytes in it of space for me to save and record, and yet I still have yet to actually start recording my videos with it, because I just feel like with me recording with this device, it makes everything so much every day. And I don't know why that is. I wonder why. I'm just always drawn to things that just look completely everyday and normal. I don't wear makeup. I don't really dress up. I don't really do any of that stuff. I might do it for an event, but even when I go to dress up for an event, I kind of look more masculine than I do female. I'll wear some slacks and a button-up shirt, some nice boots that I shine up, and maybe a hat tilted to the side, but that's as far as it goes. So, a minimum lifestyle, minimalist. I think I'm gonna end this video. I should delete this video and remake it. Maybe I should do that, but I just wanted to get my point across about why nothing over here looks glamorous. That's not my intention, nor do I ever want it to be. I don't like that type of stuff. There's nothing wrong with being glamorous and liking all high maintenance lifestyles, but I don't really like that, because the more glitz your life is and glamorous your life is, the more you have to maintain stuff. It's not simplified. And there's even loss in that, because for everything that I try to do that is glamorous, I gotta constantly add more money to that to keep it up. I don't like that. I don't like anything I have to babysit, because I already got 2 dogs that I'm babysit along with this turtle, along with everything else that I'm doing, that I'm babysitting. Just the stuff that I do in everyday life, you're already babysitting. So for me to be trying to be all spiffy and glamorous, it doesn't work out. That don't work out. So I practice the simple life. I could actually be the type of person, move all the way out in the country where it's nobody for miles on end but just me, and live in a house where it's nothing but fields surrounding me, just big old field lands and stuff surrounding me, and just sit out on the porch late at night and stare into the darkness while the porch light is on. That would be so cool. I like that. But yeah, I'm gonna end this video. Basic living, basic life. That's me. Grab it.